hey, what's going on, and talk about his local brand, Estepona.life, and we'll get into all the details and see what he's been up to. So, Alex, what's going on? How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you? Thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah, everything is great here. And I just want to make sure everybody could hear us out there. So if you're in the chat, let us know that the audio is good. Seems like it's good on my end. And Alex, like we used to do live streams every week. I think for a little while, for a couple of years, you were doing like two per week, and it's been a while. So what have you been up to? Where have you been?
Uh, I've been busy. I mean, just on that fact, it just seems that the whole space that we are in, that we were in, is so different now. I mean, if you think about the amount of YouTubers and other social media personalities, I want to say, that were in this space, that were helping people, you know, break away from the 9 to 5, create a website, create content, do SEO, affiliate marketing, all that stuff. We're like just one of the few that are left. I mean, I can pretty count on both hands all the people that aren't around anymore. So yeah, that's why there's less live streams. What have I been doing? I've been working on my local project, Estepona.life. I've also been creating videos for some of my friends over at Brainstorm Force, who are the creators of Astra theme, which is the most popular WordPress theme in the world. So yeah, I've been having fun working with them. They wanted someone to help them with their YouTube content. So yeah, I've been producing some content for them, and yeah, I've been doing some WP Eagle stuff too. I had a live stream recently, which went really well, and yeah, when I can, I'm putting out content when I feel inspired, motivated.
Yeah, I hear you. And that encapsulates like what has been going on, because I mean I think like you and I have been around for long enough where there've been some ups and downs, but this is definitely one of the most turbulent times as far as like when we've been active. Surely before we got started and we're in the space, there were, some pretty severe dips, I would say, but things
Yeah,
seem to come back and forth. And, there's still, I see Tony's out there. We got Colin, Fruitbat Cat. Like people are around, like they want to get the updates. But I think like, the day to day where I was doing live streams and you were doing them and other people had stuff going on, there were communities, there were conferences even. And I think, at this point, I'd be surprised if there would be as much interest in like a conference. Like I just can't imagine a ton of people are going to have like the extra income to go, or extra revenue to go and network and all that stuff. But it's interesting because people, a lot of other, I guess, peers, they started YouTube channels or they started a brand and they fizzle out. And this happens like all the time. There's sort of a life cycle. And if you get past like 6 months or a year, it's interesting, but very few make it past a couple years, I would say. So,
yeah. I mean,
or
it's
around.
purely down to the Google changes
Mm-hmm.
that just have made it so much more difficult now for people to enter. I mean, I guess it's given us opportunity to reflect on the entire space anyway as a whole. Maybe some of the content and some of the websites that we were creating weren't always the best, but there was a lot of good ones out there that got hit. I mean, I've yet to hear of any site that's really thriving since the helpful content update and the Google spam update and all those other updates. Do you know of anyone that's still thriving in that space?
Not off the top of my head. You.
I mean, they may be doing okay because they pivoted. They built a good email list. They've got a good social media going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I know that. For example, Niche Site Lady, who you're sure you're familiar with her on Twitter and X. I still call it Twitter. Um, she actually passed by Estepona recently, and we cooked up and had some lunch, which was good. And then yeah, she's doing fine, but yeah, she's not getting a lot of traffic from Google anymore, not like she was.
Mm-hmm.
But she was in a good position where she was already very successful. She'd been very astute with her money and saved a lot and invested a lot, and was able to change what she was doing quite quickly, and she's doing well, but maybe not as well as she was. But yeah, still very successful on the grand scheme of things.
Right. Yeah. And I was going to say I know of a couple people that they're still getting website traffic, but it's usually through something else. Reddit does seem to be working well. And I know someone who basically, they don't produce content online and share their story or anything. They're just operating. But they're even more profitable than they were when they had niche sites. Their niche sites dropped down. But it is interesting, like if you happen, I think this person basically got lucky in the specific affiliate program, got lucky in the specific Reddit posts that were ranking and blah, blah, blah. So like many things, it was just like good timing. So anyway, all right. You've been working on stuff. We'll come back to some of the work you've been doing for the Astra theme. What was it called? Brain something?
They're called Brainstorm Force, which is a very interesting name. Yeah.
Cool. And, we'll hear about that. And I guess people could check out some of the stuff over there. But let's talk about Estepona.life. Last time you were on the live stream, you talked about your overall approach and we went into some of the details. It's now been a few months. So if you could highlight what you're working on with Estepona.life, kind of the goals and the monetization strategy just at a high level, and then we'll start talking about some of the things you have been doing and the results you've been seeing in the last few months.
Okay. So Estepona.life is a project. It's a guide for visitors and residents of where I live, which is a town called Estepona in the south of Spain. It's a very popular tourist destination, but it hasn't always been the case. It's a trend at the moment. People are only just kind of discovering it. We'd kind of kept it quite well hidden, but words got out. So I've been creating content, and the majority of the content, I will say, has been short form social media content. So videos for Instagram, Reels and Facebook Reels and TikTok and those kind of platforms, because I find it's very easy to be consistent with that, because I can just walk around the town doing my normal business and I can take videos of things that I see, and then using apps like CapCut and Canva, I can put together a video quite quickly, and I generally am able to post every day, although it's been raining for the last couple of days, so I've not been posting quite so much. The actual website is on Estepona.life, and on there I post content, articles about all the restaurants and bars and things like that within the town. So it's kind of like a directory, and I'm building that up slowly over time. Each page has the information each place has a page, and then on that page there's information about that venue. So the opening hours, a map, reviews from Google. If I've been there and I've created a video, that'll be on there too, plus my comments on whether I think it's good or not, and some other information on there. So it's kind of useful for people that are new to the town. And then the other side of the content on the website is what I kind of call inspirational content. So it's to help people find things to do. So maybe they're not looking for a specific restaurant, but they're looking for a place to get good vegetarian food, or things to do in the town when it's raining, for example. So I'll create content around that. And to be fair, a lot of that content ranks very quickly and very well on Google. Now, I think that's down to a couple of reasons. First is there's not too much competition on those keywords, understandably. And the second thing is I just think maybe that Google in Spain is not quite as advanced, or isn't running quite the same algorithm as maybe the Google in the US. Okay. So yeah, I can put an article up on what to do in Estepona when it rains, and it will rank and it will get traffic. So in terms of traffic, actually, let me just have a look. The site continues to grow, and I will say that I haven't been putting as many hours in as I'd like to, but it's grown on the last 30 days. It's up 68%. So we're up to nearly 3,000 visits now in a month.
Oh, wow.
We're hitting, Sunday had 177 visits. We kind of, especially over the last 7 days, maybe the last 14 days, we've got over the kind of 100 visits a day mark. So that's quite good. And yeah, whenever I go out to eat, I try and record a video. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Depends how noisy or how many beers I've had on that kind of stuff. And then they do really well as well. So when people search by restaurants by name, they tend to rank well because, again, there isn't much video content. So often the YouTube video will come up in the SERPs. In terms of monetization, I haven't really developed that side just yet. I'm building up the newsletter. So the email list is up to about 150 now. It's growing quite nicely. However, I did do a review of a restaurant here the other week. It's called Texas Longhorn, and it's an American Tex-Mex style restaurant, which is quite nice because you don't see many of them in Spain. So you get good steaks and ribs and burgers and nachos and all that good stuff. So I went there and I did a review, and actually the review didn't get off to a good start because we turned up. It wasn't particularly busy. We had a table reserved. We sat down. They didn't bring over any menus. They didn't ask if we wanted a drink. I know as an American, you think, what the hell is this place? No glass of water. So, but actually after 20 minutes, they did start giving us some service, and they then apologized for the wait and they gave us some free food. And so the review ended up being quite good. And then a few days later, I got a phone call from the owner, and it turns out that that restaurant is like a chain of 40. There isn't many in Spain. Actually, most of them are in the North, Europe and Sweden and places. But yeah, he opportunities, and I was like, oh, I haven't really thought yet. So I'm now at that point where restaurants and local businesses are starting to show an interest.
Okay.
So yeah, I need to put together what kind of deals these people want to do. I mean, what would you do if you had a local website and some local businesses said, "Hey, we've got some money to spend. What can you offer us?"
That, you know what? I haven't done it, but just thinking through this, I would probably set up something sort of small because you really don't have an idea the value that they put on it, because there's like the market is not determined yet. So we don't know the supply and demand. So it's like you don't want to overcommit and be like, all right, I'm going to sell you like a year's worth of advertising.
Yeah, it's
or
going to be
whatever.
10,000.
Yeah,
let's
like
sign.
maybe let's try 3 weeks or something like that. We'll test it out and see how it goes, and then you
But
can
what
put
actually
together.
would you deliver? I mean, there's obviously I could just stick like a banner on the site, but and then
Yeah,
they talked about maybe doing some sponsored content, but I don't want to do any paid for restaurant reviews because I think that would just completely destroy the integrity of the whole channel.
right.
I'm thinking maybe like a competition where they could offer some food or drinks or whatever, and I could promote the competition.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, I don't
I
know. It's
think,
interesting.
ooh, I think, gosh, well, what I always try to do is like copy someone else.
Yeah,
So if you could find a business model that you're like, oh, they've been operating for a couple years, and then like see what their rates
yeah,
are. Like I know I interviewed, well, I don't know if he does anything like this, but I interviewed Brooks Conkle, and he has a pretty mature brand in the Mobile, Alabama area, and he does have like advertising space, and they actually printed like a physical book and stuff like that. And the point being, if you could find someone else that has their media kit, then you can go from there.
yeah.
I
Use
wouldn't
that
be
for
against,
inspiration.
I wouldn't, yeah, I'm with you on the sponsored review, but you could have like, oh, here's like um, maybe an article that's not related to restaurants, and you could say, hey, this article or this content was brought to you by
Yeah, and put their
that
name at the top
restaurant.
and their logo.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, or if you're like, yeah, maybe you review like whatever the parks that are good for families or whatever. So it's a little bit unrelated, and that way it's just like, hey, we're trying to pay the bills here. You're producing the
yeah,
content.
that would work. Yeah.
Hmm. I don't know.
So I'm thinking about that. Yeah, and also it's kind of nice to be in a local environment. So there's actually like a networking event that started locally in the town. So I've been attending that, wearing a t-shirt with the website on, and there I'm meeting local business owners. I'm meeting owners of like the hotels and other businesses. So and they've all shown an interest and basically enabling me to get into these places and make content. So Yeah, it's fun. I need to work on my content, I think, in terms of like the production quality, possibly.
Hmm.
I'm still doing it in a very kind of vlog, selfie sort of style, which I think
I
adds
think that's good.
a layer of authenticity for sure. But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think that's good because I mean, I know like you and I have good like video setups here and we have good audio and all that. I don't think it's overproduced, but like if you end up producing like too good of a video, then it doesn't look as authentic where it's just like, you're Alex the guy that people can see on the street like wearing the t-shirt. And I think like that's good. Like I think that's a
Yeah,
good thing
yeah, I guess
overall.
so. Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day actually, like how YouTube has changed. Like most videos you watch now are like the quality of the stuff you'd see on TV or in the movies, the
It's
level of
crazy.
editing and production quality.
Yeah.
And YouTube, even just a few years ago, was not like that. You just got people in their bedrooms with a janky kind of camera. Maybe not the audio wasn't great, but the content was always very good and authentic and real. And it seems like now everything is all about how well edited it is, and I don't know.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah.
Well, a couple questions. Is the content AI generated and or are you writing it yourself?
I'm writing it myself. I may
Okay.
use AI to give me a structure of an article, but generally I find, especially for the area here, that I mean, ChatGPT or whatever knows a few things, but it gets a lot of things wrong here
Yeah, it does.
because there isn't that much information out there, which is why I'm ranking quite well. I don't think ChatGPT and the others have had too much to feed on. I mean, you ask it where the best fish restaurant is, it will say La Escalera, which is probably the best fish restaurant. But then when you want more things to do it, yeah, it's struggling. It's basically just going through TripAdvisor
Okay.
generally, which is not the best.
Gotcha. And I get a couple more questions from John who sent this in, and he asked about like travel sites, which your site is for like travelers and for locals because it's a city guide, really.
Yeah, it's a
And
city guide, but yeah, it's a local travel website. But yeah, it's a. I mean, the town is gets loads of visitors every year, so yeah.
And what John is asking about is like travel sites were hit hard, and he thought maybe it was because they covered too many broad topics, and maybe a single destination is a better way to do it. So he was wondering like how much you could cover of the destination, but could you also like put in things that were adjacent? So, for example, if someone was wondering if they had any ancestors in the area, would you put an article or put any information about genealogy and have like genealogy products where people could maybe do some research? Like, does that fit? Do you think that would fit?
Yeah, I guess why not? I mean, I haven't got to the point where I need to. I haven't expanded my content. I'm still covering the basics at the moment, like the best restaurants and hotels and things. But yeah, I think that could work.
And
Um,
and he also
yeah,
thought, yeah, like what about travel themed wall art? And do you think that would fit too?
travel themed wall art.
Yeah, it says like Estepona and it has like a picture of whatever, a beach.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, John was like, when does Google start to dock you because you're too broad? And my answer overall was similar to yours, but really I was like, just fuck Google. Like, don't worry about it. Like, if you're catering to whatever they're doing now, they're gonna fucking change it again, and Google could go fuck itself. I rephrased it a little. I'm not putting words into your mouth, Alex, but I phrased it a little more gently. But basically, it's just like, yeah, don't try to
Yeah,
cater
I
to
think
Google. Like,
we
this
shouldn't
is
panic for
dumb.
them. Hopefully, they'll be gone soon.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going. I
So
don't think they're going anywhere, but they're going to hopefully have less of a stake on the internet on all of our internet journeys. Hopefully,
I I think so. It'll certainly be different. And I think that, I mean, when my wife starts complaining about getting Reddit results, then I know that, the results suck. Like people are not happy with what they're getting and they're going to go somewhere else. So, um,
yeah, I've noticed that actually, a real people, not like us weirdos that just live in this
yeah.
space. People that just use Google just for their day to day stuff are also noticing now that they can't find anything that they actually want anymore, and all they're getting served is the same old websites over and over again. And those little gems of websites that we always used to find and what made the internet such a beautiful place are no longer to be found.
Yep. So,
although I am seeing less Reddit in the search.
there you are.
They seem to have dropped off again a bit, but I don't know.
Another question from Paul says, are you focusing on local SEO tactics or just general SEO or neither?
I don't know what local SEO tactics are. I'm just focusing on SEO, just general. The stuff that I know to work. So just making sure that my pages are laid out in a nice, clear way, and logical way, making sure I've got all the keywords in the right places, in the title and in the headers and all that usual stuff. I'm not obsessing over it, though. I'm not trying to get 99 out of 100 on Rank Math or Yoast or anything like that. And then I'm link building. And a little story about that. So there's a big newspaper. I don't know actually if they do print, but they're a big online newspaper. They're called the Olive Press, which is a nice play on words because obviously they use an olive press around here to make olive oil. But they're obviously the Olive Press because like a newspaper. Very clever.
Smart.
And they cover kind of all of the Costa del Sol, which is all of this coast here, some from Malaga and Marbella and all the way along. And a guy reached out to me on Instagram and said, hey, I write for the Olive Press. Can we meet up for a chat? I've seen your stuff on Instagram. So I was like, yeah, okay. So we met up for a coffee. It was a little bit too early for a beer. He's actually English as well. And he was like, we don't really have much content on Estepona. We want more content on Estepona. Can we use some of your content for inspiration? And, will you send you a link and cite you and all that kind of stuff? So I was like, yeah, sure, of course. So they published one just the other week. And when they said inspiration, it was a bit like the way we use inspiration. They basically just copied one of my articles. However, they did change it a little bit, and they did at the top make it very clear that it was my article with a link back to me and all that good stuff. So I'm pretty happy about that. And I've done a few searches on that article, which is actually the best live music in Estepona. And yeah, I'm still ranking like 1 or 2 on Google, and they're way down the bottom. So I've looked into it, and I'm pretty sure Google knows when that happens who the original or where the original article is and gives that priority. But yeah, it's a nice link. And they're going to do that with a few other articles, I think.
That's cool. That's cool. And like now that, I mean, you're obviously just like helping them out tremendously. So when you have like a good ask, you could probably be like, hey, can I, let's get these links, or let's do this thing, or maybe.
They'd probably be up for just me writing some content for them. So I could maybe say, well, hey, maybe they'd even pay me and I could include a link as well. Yeah. Create some articles written specifically for you. That may mention me. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely got potential. I think there's a few other local publications and local news websites that I could probably tap up and, do some sort of collaboration.
You should find out, get connected with their marketing department and find out who's running ads and be like, hey, can you introduce me to whoever? And that way you can make your own deals over there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're running Ezoic.
We could see who's running the ads and then contact those people directly. So
yeah, they must do something else other than run Ezoic.
Okay, that's funny.
They must be.
Full
I need to find out how much they're making on Ezoic.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple great comments from Simplify Gardening. Tony out there says, don't do sponsored content as it takes away your independence. And he also mentioned that we will find that it's going back to the old days, especially long form and authentic videos over polished videos. So that's interesting. And I have seen a little bit of a trend on videos that have gone viral and creators that I've never seen before. A lot of times those are like, 20 minutes long, shot on their phone, just like pretty chill and unedited.
Yeah, I have seen that trend as well, which is good. There's a time and a place for edited videos, but they do all become a little samey in a way. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm. We're weird though, because we've consumed so much probably content for creators that we're in a weird kind of meta situation. But another question here from Colin: would profit slip on merch from various restaurants and businesses designs work? I'm not sure. They don't have
Oh,
the.
okay. It may do.
Can
Yeah,
you
I mean, I have been
rephrase the
doing.
question? I don't understand it.
He's basically saying profit share. So I go to a restaurant and go, "You got a cool restaurant here. I've designed these T-shirts about you," which in fact I already have. I've designed a T-shirt for one of the beach bars here. So I could go up there with my T-shirt and say, "Hey, look, I've got this T-shirt with your restaurant on it. Do you want to sell them and we can share the profits?" I think that's what you mean.
Got it. Okay.
So they don't have the time or effort to do their own merchandise. And yeah, I found the T-shirt sales have been a bit slow. I'm struggling to find a good print provider that can do it at a good price, because by the time I've added profit and taxes and stuff, they're kind of over $20 a T-shirt, and I think that's too much, maybe.
Got it. Yeah, that's it. It's an interesting one. Like I started making like just some stickers, which I don't have any like super handy right next to me. Oh, duh. I made this one
Is that
with
the
a
pizza
pizza.
one? Yeah.
Yeah. It says pizza is my love language. I made one with Longmont on there, which hopefully it'll
Okay.
refocus. Hold on, get my head out of there. So it says Longmont.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing is, like, the way that I can set it up, I think you probably can too, Alex, is like I designed it, and then I could just send them the link and they could order however many they want. If they order more, they can get a bigger discount or
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean,
And
it's
then
like print on demand, yeah.
it's a print on demand situation. And then it's like all you did was like design it, and then basically if they want to order it, they can. But that
And have you tried marketing them or anything? I mean, I don't know how much money there is in stickers.
millions. No, I haven't. I haven't done anything. When when it comes down to it, I was like, I'm just giving them out to my friends and stuff like that. But like, I think there's enough enough like little shops in town where like potentially it could be like a little bit of money. But the thing is, like something like this pizza, right? There's pizza shops all over the country. But would that be worthwhile for me to like go to whatever? There must be like a pizza
They
restaurant
would like it
convention.
if they could put their logo on it, probably.
Yep. So at that point, I stopped. I was just like, oh, there could be something to it. But then to your point, unless I was going to like the Chamber of Commerce meetings and like knew the small business owners, and I could just be like, hey, do you want to buy like 300 stickers? It'll cost you $350. And then, you sell them for $4, $5 a piece. Like that's a pretty good profit margin for that little piece. But
Yeah.
unless I could just like sell instantly, the $50, I'm like, I don't really care. Right. So it's not enough because they're not going to be
Yeah.
selling like hundreds
The
a day.
merch, I mean, you see a lot of people on YouTube and that going on about print on demand and everything, but the margins are quite narrow. And to me, it seems like, I think maybe even T-shirts are just not the right product, probably. Maybe stickers are another thing, but I think maybe more abstract products might be different. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was thinking there was a guy, I watched a video and he was showing some different products. So a lot of people here have accommodation or property that they rent out on Airbnb and things. And you could imagine, maybe designing some cool like wall art, Estepona inspired, so that when the people are kitting out their Airbnbs, they could have some cool, local art. That might work. But yeah, it's quite a lot of work. It's quite a lot of risk as well because, I ran some Facebook ads and that kind of stuff, and it's very easy to burn up some money.
Yeah.
And you want to try the T-shirt, so you end up ordering a lot. Although saying that, there's where I have my Spanish lesson, there's a little kind of gallery at the back where people exhibit art and stuff. And in January, I've been invited to exhibit the T-shirts, so I might sell some there. But it does mean I need to order some more and maybe design a few more.
How'd you get the invite?
Just through my Spanish, because it's his place, and he was like, and he bought some of the T-shirts, and he really likes them. I mean, the thing is, they're just Kittle designs. Have you tried Kittle? It's like Canva, but for merch. And it's not like I'm an artist or anything. I literally just changed a few designs, like looked up some beach templates and changed the word Hawaii to Estepona, and that's basically it. But they do look good.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing with the stickers I did. Yeah. It's pretty much like the tools are great now, but okay. So overall, it sounds like a merch, like profit share, while possible, it seems like it could be a decent amount of work unless you had like a pretty large volume of people that would be easy to sell to. Is that overall the assessment?
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is once you start moving to a local business situation, which maybe is good, they're not going to work on a print on demand model. They're going to want boxes of the t-shirts in the back of the restaurant so that when people come in and see the t-shirt and go, that's cool, can I buy one? It's there to buy. They don't want to order it. I don't think so anyway. So then that means you're in the situation where you have to invest in stock, which I don't want to do. Maybe they want to do, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to have boxes of t-shirts sitting around the place. And the other thing with clothing is, which makes t-shirts a bit of a pain, is that, they come in 6 or 7 different sizes. So you need 6 or 7 boxes of different sizes. And I guess in various different ratios, I don't know, but I guess like mediums and larges sell better than the extra larges, but I don't know. It just sounds like a headache that I don't need.
Right. Okay. That all makes sense. Again, like you said, the print on demand, like, YouTubers, well, we're horrible, right? So you watch some videos and they make it sound so easy, but you still have to like sell a physical product.
Yeah, they make it sound easy. Like you have to, you just design your t-shirt, you come up with a fantastic design of like a really cool owl or whatever on it. And then you just, you set up your website, you set up some ads, you target those ads on Facebook to people that like owls. They just start selling like hotcakes and you're a millionaire by the end of the week.
Owls are hot right now, by the way. Yeah.
It's always something random like that.
All right. Before we get to the next section, which we'll continue talking about monetization, I want to pause quickly for a quick shout out for Linkify. Linkify does digital PR, and they landed a kick-ass link for me over here on Ahrefs. Did you see this, Alex? Did I show this to you earlier?
No, do show me.
Yeah. So it's over on Ahrefs, and I gave apparently a great quote over here. Make sure you're, blah, 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 something about real estate. So they do a great job. They landed a epic link in a perfect space for me, and you can save 10% using, I think, coupon code.
You got a link on ahrefs.com.
Yeah, to Niche Site Project, and they do awesome. So the other links I've gotten are like Nasdaq.com, and there's a Yahoo Finance. It's ridiculous. So I would say check them out. Do you know Chris, by the way? Do you know Chris?
I do. I've met Chris a couple of times.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So they do an awesome job. So definitely check it out if you're looking for digital PR. They also do white labeling. So if if people out there are running an agency, but they don't have the bandwidth to do digital PR, you could outsource it to Chris's crew over at Linkify, and they'll take care of it for you. You can save the 10%, like we mentioned before. So
how much work did you have to do for that? Did you have to write that piece of content?
I didn't do much work at all. I filled out like an intake form, and they kind of understand, because I've chatted with Chris, like he kind of understands like the digital marketing space that we're in. So yeah, I just sent over probably, I don't know, there's a couple paragraphs of information, but a lot of it was just for my about page. So I virtually just did the intake form, and they handle everything. They're working through, Connectively, I think it's called. It's like old Haro, right?
Yeah. They're helping reporters.
Yep. So super cool. People should definitely check that out. And like I said, I think, if you're able to sell, the service, then one could mark it up and, earn a pretty large amount of money from that. Okay. Perfect. Let's talk more about the monetization. So do you have a media kit that you put together for Estepona.life?
No, that's what I need.
Why not?
That is my next. I know. I didn't think it was going to happen this quickly, to be fair. I kind of just had the plan of make content, grow traffic, and then worry about the monetization later. But yeah, so you're absolutely right. I need to go and look at what other websites offer. And I'm sure a lot of the media kits are just available to look at, I thought.
Yeah, I have. I can't remember if I have one posted on my description here, but I have a media kit for like this like podcast, the YouTube channel, so people can see the stats and all that little testimonial. I just created it on Canva. And by the way, if people want to sponsor this, you know, let me know and I can send you the media kit. But funny enough, Alex, I don't have one for my other show, which I'm also looking for sponsors, called Mile High Fi. So it's just like, yeah, we know we're supposed to do the media kit, but I haven't created it. So, and it's like, it just has all the info there and the templates are great. It could just be a 1 or 2 pager.
Yeah, send me that. I like to have a look at that. So do you have like a menu that they can pick from, or is it just like this and this? I mean, how many offerings do you have that people can choose from?
I leave it kind of open and I say, you know, there's the email newsletter, there's the podcast, there's YouTube, and I say I could do any of those, any combo. And I do put a price, I say like starting at $500. So at least so that like no one's contacting me that doesn't know that it's $500 at least.
Yeah, you want
Um,
to because it does vary considerably. For the bits of sponsor content that I've done on WP Eagle, yeah, some people turn up, but they say, "Can you do me a video on this on our wonderful product?" We'll pay you $300. Another company turns up, asks the same thing, and they say, "We'll pay you $3,000." And yeah, I don't know where these figures even come from, how they measure them, how they measure ROI or anything like that. It's quite tricky.
yeah, it's so weird because I had well, yeah, I've had companies that like are not a good match, but apparently they have like a huge budget and yeah, charge like 3 to 5, 7,000 dollars for like one video. And they just had money like burning a hole in their pocket or something like that. And then others are
They're
like,
just throwing it at you, yeah.
they're like, we can't afford like $150. And I'm like, dude, come on. Like you gotta work with me here. Like I want to do some ads, but like it has to be at least the market rate. So I have no clue. I mean, I know with some general advertising, a lot of time the RPM is like 25 to $35 or so for like my other podcast. And it's a little bit lower than what I would hope, but you know, like if you get enough downloads and listens, like you get a few advertisers, it does add up. But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little bit tough. Okay, so I'll send you over the media kit, but what would be like ideal? Like what would you put like if you put a menu in there? Because it sounds like you're big on Instagram, you have the blog. Like what packages do you think you might put in there?
Yeah, I mean, I could do little sponsored things on Instagram and on Facebook. I mean, they're both up to about 2,000 followers now. They get quite good engagement, um, generally. I don't know. As you say, I need to look at what other people are doing and how much people kind of charge for this. I don't want my channels to get taken over with sponsored stuff either. I think it's kind of getting that balance right, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit tough, especially like well, there's not many other brands that like are doing what you're doing in Estepona, right?
No, there's a couple. There's a young lady that's doing very well on Instagram. She creates very nice videos and gets quite a lot of engagement and has got a lot of followers. I'm not quite sure how she's doing it. She's another foreigner like me. She's Dutch or something, but she's not here the whole time. I reached out to see if she wanted coffee, but she declined. I don't know why. I think she saw me as a competition. But yeah, there's no one else really. I mean, the local council, they put out some bits and bobs, but yeah, there's not a great deal.
Okay. So yeah, that does make it tough to figure out like the price point too. Now, Fruitbat Cat asks, has Alex thought about a week-long hosted holiday? Got a friend who makes a lot, organizing singles tours of China, not dating, just people who want other people to travel with.
That sounds like a lot of work again.
Hmm. It
I don't
sounds like
like
a
real
lot.
work, you know that.
That's the
And
trouble I'm
organising
running
it.
into. Yeah.
I'm very bad at organising anything, including myself.
Yeah, I mean planning the like it takes a ton of coordinating and if you're doing a singles event like that um or a tour group like you kind of have to book thing individually with like private tour guides and stuff like that if you're not going to do it yourself. And yeah, like basically you're on point to host the people, and it's a huge amount of work. And if you're not into it, then it would be like just a horrible way to set up a job that you don't like.
It would. I like your idea about tours, though. That might be something I could think of doing,
Yeah, but
like
if they're
a tapas tour or some other, I don't know, wine tour.
mhm.
And then again, I could do some kind of deals with restaurants and bars.
Now, are there any like wine tours like that, or food tours, or anything that's already organized where you could just refer people over and earn a commission on that?
Yeah, every year there is like a tapas tour, which I think that's organised by the council here. Um, yeah, but there's not a lot else. There's a mural tour because there's quite a lot of murals that are painted on the buildings around here. So that's, yeah, definitely there's potential.
Okay. Well, what's your time frame on monetizing? So you were like, like this happened faster than I expected. So you weren't prepared when the restaurant owner contacted you and all that stuff. So like, what's the driver, and like what's the timeline on this? Because it sounds like
Well, I
if
think I need to ramp up the time. I just thought it was going to take me over a year. I also thought that maybe now, as we enter winter, that I maybe missed quite a lot of opportunity, and I need to just make sure that I'm in a good position for next summer. But maybe not. Maybe it's kind of been on the side, but it's not been my main project. It's just
okay,
kind of been something that I've been chipping away at, and yeah, I've had to do things that brought money in a bit more quickly after all the Google stuff and other stuff that's been going on in my life. I needed to get some money in quite quickly, so it
hmm,
was something that I hadn't focused on because I didn't think the money would come that quickly. But maybe
gotcha,
I was wrong there, because at the end of the day, with sponsorship, as you know, you don't need too many to generate a reasonable income.
right. And if you're doing the content, you said roughly daily, not every single day, but I mean, even if you only got, a couple sponsors, you could do, you know, say 2 out of 5 or 2 out of 6 are sponsored per week. And then
Yeah, that
you
wouldn't be too
have,
much. Yeah.
maybe that's a few $100s a week. Like that's not nothing. Like that's pretty good, right?
Hmm.
Do you think you could
Yeah.
charge that much?
I think I could. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I guess they can measure it. These places, especially restaurants and bars and other places, hotels, they could measure it, because we could set up some sort of discount where if they mention me, they get a little discount, and that way they could keep a note of that for sure, couldn't they?
Hmm.
And some of these restaurants, they're not cheap, so to get their $100 back would only be probably 2 or 3 settings. 2 or 3 groups of people turning up for a meal would probably cover that note more than enough.
Cool. Well,
Because it's not going to
let's,
be the little local restaurants that really are going to. There's a big discrepancy between places here. There's the like local restaurants, kind of like just outside my window here, which are still very cheap, and you could go out and you could eat like a king and spend $20 or less. And then there's the kind of more tourist part of town where you're probably not even going to get a starter for $20.
really, is that expensive?
It can be, yeah,
Damn.
but it's all relative, because a lot of the visitors here are coming from Northern Europe. They're coming from Sweden and Denmark, and they're coming from England and the UK, and they're also coming over from America now quite a lot. And especially to like the Swedish and even the British to a certain extent, it still is cheaper than going out in their own country. You go out in Sweden, and then your beer is going to cost you €7 just for a pint of beer. Whereas here, a pint of beer is €3. So, and even if they charge €5, which to us, the people that live here will go, well, that's a lot of money. It's still cheap if you're Swedish. So it's all relative.
Yeah, that's true. Well, what's coming up next then? So and we'll talk about your other projects in a second, but like for Estepona.life, like where do you see, say, like the next 3 to 6 months or so?
The next 3 to 6 months, what I want to do is I want to ramp up the website content. So that's fallen behind a little bit. It takes a lot longer to produce than the social media content. You know, a TikTok video or using CapCut or whatever is so easy. It's easy. So I want to up the website content. I then want to. I haven't done much hotel stuff. So I want to look more into hotels and accommodation, because I think in terms of affiliate, that could be quite lucrative. Sign up with booking.com or Expedia or Airbnb or I don't even know if they have an affiliate. Some of those guys, and get more guides for accommodation. I mean, a lot of other people have said we'd like to advertise our property. We've just bought a property. We're doing a rental. Can we advertise it? So I need to kind of explore that. Whereas I could probably create my own sort of marketplace in a way, whether that be through Facebook or whether it be off the social media. Because there's one big group, Estepona Info and Chat, that's on Facebook. It's got like 30 or 40,000 members, maybe more. And I know that the owner of that has monetized the Facebook group by charging people for, kind of sponsored posts within the group. So I don't know. I created my own little Facebook group too, and I think we're already up to, what are we up to? I don't know, a couple of thousand maybe. I know there's seems to be lots of opportunities, and it's like all these things. If you can grow a social media following, if you can grow an email list, if you can just get some eyeballs, for want of a better way of saying it, then opportunities kind of manifest themselves, don't they?
Mm-hmm. And it's cool that, that other Facebook group has, again, just like known advertisers. So you could go and see, like, those people obviously have a budget. So you could go and approach them and say, hey, I got another social media platform if you want to take a look.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think she's charging a lot. It kind of reminds me of the kind of ads that you used to see in your local shop. They used to have like a little board up on the wall, and you could pay, I don't know, a couple of pounds and put you got your car for sale or something. It's like that. She can't be charging a lot because it's people that want to advertise their yoga group or their Spanish lessons. So
gotcha.
I don't know how much money is in that really, but
that's true.
Yeah, the group's up to 2,000 members now, nearly 1.8. But again, it's something that I probably need to find a moderator for the group because I ain't got the time to keep going in there. And now I'm scrolling through it now. I've just got it up now. It has become a bit of a spam fest in terms of people that are trying to just push their yoga groups, their properties for sale and all that kind of stuff. So I think there is a time and a place for that, but you don't want a whole group that's just full of that, do you?
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
You got a Facebook group?
Technically, yes. With the Mile High Fi podcast, my co-host who left the show at this point, he wanted to set it up, so he was kind of running it. It's pretty good. I need to pop in there. Like when you mentioned it, I was like, oh shit, I need to go and make sure everything's good in there. But like, I think people police it pretty well, and I probably will there's probably 2 or 3 people that are fairly active that I think would be happy to moderate it for me. But yeah, I'm not in there every day. So
a lot of work.
Yeah, it's not very big. I think there's only maybe like 800 or so, something like that. So there's a handful enough to cause trouble, but I'm not in there very much. So, okay. Last question on Estepona.life for now. So if you could just do anything with it and know that you were going to be successful, what would you want it to be? Because like we talked about these possibilities and you're like, it's a little bit of work. Like if you could, like whatever, snap your fingers and it would be a year from now, like what would you want it to be?
That's a good question. I'd like it to become a bit of a authority on where the best places are within the town. I would also like it to probably be more current and more newsy, sort of. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the town, and that's something that I haven't really wanted to do, because again, it feels like a big commitment to try and get to every event, to try and cover everything that's going on. But I think that would be popular and would be quite valuable. So I'd like to maybe get to a point where I could have people that help me with that, in terms of they're out there videoing stuff, and then we're just publishing it.
Well, if people want to learn a little bit more, they could obviously check out Estepona.life and see what you're working on. Also, next week, I'm chatting with Shauna Newman, who has a local brand in the Las Vegas, Nevada area. And she just landed a advertiser, I believe. And she has an idea for essentially setting up like a local business. So we're going to talk about that next week. It'll be next Monday. So people can make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and you can sign up for I have notifications. So there's some link in the description. So I send out a link and I'll let you know when I'm going live and all that stuff. So Alex, have you missed doing more YouTube stuff than you have been in the past, or was it a welcome break?
I'm kind of missing it. Yeah. I see that Fruitbat Cat said you was really surprised Alex hadn't covered the latest WordPress drama. Yeah, I just haven't had the time. You've seen that, right, Doug?
A little bit. Yeah, you could summarize it quickly for people that don't know.
Yeah, well, just WP Engine and Matt from Automatic, they've started having a go at each other. Well, Matt has tagged them first, saying that they were the cancer of the WordPress community because they don't contribute enough hours, which I kind of get, because, WordPress is a free platform. And if you're going to make millions and millions of dollars from it, then you probably should contribute a little bit back to it. I get that. But then then the lawyers got involved, and then Matt started being awkward and turned off their access to the WordPress servers. So that meant all the WP Engine customers couldn't update their plugins and themes and all that kind of stuff. So that's not very nice. And then, they're just throwing shit at each other now, really. And then he's going on about trademarks and all this kind of thing. But then there's stuff coming out about Matt and Automatic and all that setup, which has always been a little bit shady, in my opinion anyway. The way you have WordPress.org and then WordPress.com, and then one's a foundation, like a charitable thing, and one's a profit-making company, and it's very confusing which one's which. And especially to people outside of WordPress, it's extremely confusing. And then you've got trademarks, like you can use WordPress or you can't use WordPress, and WP is fine. Well, I hope it's fine. Otherwise, I'm going to be in trouble again. But yeah, that's what's been going on. I probably should do a video because, as Fruitbat Cat says, there's a lot of traffic out there. I just see that some guys put a video up just one day ago, and he's already hit 86,000 views on it. So definitely saying people love drama, don't they? They love drama. It's a great way to get views. Yeah. Like when Ricky and Jamie were playing with each other, that was good for views.
Yeah, and it, like, I followed along just a little bit. The WordPress theme that I often use is Thesis and Focus. Like, it was sort of a rebrand, but there's a guy named Chris Pearson who created Thesis, which is like one of the WordPress, one of the original like WordPress premium themes from like 2007.
Yeah, I know.
And I've interviewed him a couple of times. Turns out he and I went to the same college, actually at the same time. Technically, like, we probably had similar classes and stuff like that. But he has had some conflict with Matt Mullenweg as well, like way back in like 2010 or 11.
Oh, wow.
And I can't remember. It was some other thing where like Matt had some idealism about how things were going to run, and Chris disagreed. And Chris is like, I don't know. Yeah, they really butted heads, like, and it was another like public thing, but much smaller. Like, WP Engine's like fucking huge. Like, I can't remember the like number of websites, but it's like hundreds of millions of dollars like revenue.
Yeah, they're a big company. Yeah,
giant, right? Yeah. So anyway, one of the things, like, the drama can get the views, but it's also like, I've never tried to chase the stories, or when the couple times I have, it's just been like, I am chasing something and it never works out well. Like, it might get a few views, but it's just like, I don't really care that much. So yeah. are those the views you really want? And it's like, yeah, most of the time not. Like it could boost you for a little bit, but it's just like those folks are not
Well,
going to
you kind
stick
of have to
around.
carry on with that kind of content and carry on following trends and whatever, and it can become quite stressful. It also means you have to be very responsive and quick at making videos.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think if it was something like that you and I were like directly, like, I guess, really interested in, we would probably do the video and we would be ahead of it, the curve or whatever. But to date, nothing has happened for me. So I'm not worrying about it. Okay. So moving on, moving on. You've been doing videos for the Astra theme, that parent company. Can you talk about that a little bit? You want to plug some of the stuff you're doing?
Yeah. Go check them out. The channel is Brainstorm Force. So yeah, they are the makers of Astra theme, which is the most popular WordPress theme right now. Which for good reason. It's a good theme. And yeah, so I've been creating videos, but they kind of want quite a lot of videos from me. So that's been taking up a lot of time, which is good because they pay well. And right now, as I say, I needed to get some money in the bank for multiple reasons. One being for my visa here and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been doing videos. It's been fun. They've been giving me access to a lot of their products and a lot of their people. I mean, they not only do Astra, they do some other cool products like Zip WP, which is great if you want to test out themes and plugins. You can just create a website with a click of a button and play around with it. And if you like it, push it to your hosting. If you don't, just scrap it. So that's cool. And they've got a WooCommerce alternative called Shortcut, which is really interesting too. They do a lot of work with Adam from WP Crafter, who is another YouTuber in kind of my WordPress space. But yeah, it's been fun, but it's been a lot of work, and it's new for me because it means that I'm accountable for someone else, or to someone else would be the right way of saying it. So that's kind of strange because I haven't been really accountable for a while. It's good because it means that I have to do work and makes me do work. And sometimes when you're only accountable to yourself, you maybe don't always do as much as you should or could. Or well, it's not hard to be. It's quite hard to get motivated, isn't it? But when you're working for someone else, you have to be motivated. Otherwise, they don't pay you. So yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I've also did a couple of client bits for a local company in the UK. I've been doing some Google Ads stuff, taking me back to that, which has been quite interesting. Google Ads is such a different system to what it was when I very first started, which was 15 years ago, maybe longer ago. It kind of reflects where Google is as a company, in that they just want to get as much money as they possibly can. And that is reflected with the way that Google Ads is set up, the way that it tries to optimize your campaigns, optimize meaning spend as much money with Google as possible, the way that their account managers reach out to you and say, do you want some help? And the call generally just entails you switching on every single feature so that you end up spending a lot of money with Google. Yeah. And I don't think it works as well as it used to either. It used to be a really good platform and you used to put some money in and you'd get lots of sales and leads and stuff. And now, for multiple reasons, it's not. And some of the costs, I mean, I've seen costs per click of over $30,
Whoa.
Which is, well, it's very hard to get a return on that. I don't know what you're selling. I mean, the company I'm helping out, they're just a logistics company. They just do parcel delivery and stuff. And, you know, when one click is 30 and you've got a conversion rate, I mean, maybe a good conversion rate of 10%, that's still never going to add up.
Crazy.
So, yeah, that's been interesting. But, yeah, it just shows how much the internet is different now and how all these systems and companies are different. And, yeah. But, yeah, it's fun in a way. Also deeply sad.
Yeah.
The way that the internet has been taken over by these corporations like Google and Meta and places like that just are purely there to make money. And it seems like, especially Google, you often felt that Google, when it was Sergey and Larry, Was it Larry? Yeah, that it was created with a good intent, and that often gets taken away, and maybe it's inevitable it happens to every company. I'm not too sure about Zuckerberg, but again, I'm sure when he created Facebook, it was just to be a useful thing to help people connect.
They were trying to meet girls, right?
Yeah,
At
that's
Harvard.
that's a worthy venture. But yeah, then that innocence and that kind of charm gets taken away when they just become large corporations where it's all about profit. And I think Google is now at that point where that has actually just taken over everything within the company, and even organic search. I mean, you can understand it when it comes to Google Ads, but the fact that that's now seeping into Google searches is ultimately going to be their downfall.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really enjoying using my Arc browser. You should try Arc. It's a really nice browser, much better than Chrome.
Oh, well.
But it's based on Chromium.
Yeah.
So all your Chrome plugins work with it. So yeah, it's good.
Good to go. So one question, Colin asked, do you use Google Alerts for what's on?
I don't.
I
get enough email as it is, but yeah, maybe I should.
I have Google Alerts just for like a couple specific like keywords, just to see, like I have one on my name just to see like when people pirate any of my products or anything like that, which is about once a week.
So you have a Google Alert on yourself, yeah?
Yep. Which is pretty normal. Like, and I saw like a few weeks, or actually a couple months ago, it was like mentioned in Forbes, like naturally, which was crazy.
Wow.
And it wasn't it was a viewer of the channel did something with ChatGPT, and like he referenced my original video, and then it ended up like linked in Forbes. So I was like, oh, holy shit, I need to put that on my featured on this. And it was organic too, which is crazy.
That's how it was always meant to be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It was no link building. It was just you do some good stuff, people link to it because it's good stuff.
Yeah. Well, and to your point earlier, like, the internet's a little sad, and like the way Google has shifted. And I think like all of this points to like what you and I are doing. Like right now, we're doing videos, right? We're doing videos, which is a lot harder to do. And people want authentic stuff because they don't trust, the written word of like bad affiliate sites or from the AI content. And I know it's tough for people to be like, all right, I'm going to do video. But if you can do video, like you're so versatile for like any platform or any kind of shifts or anything like that. And I would push people in that direction.
It's definitely a valuable talent.
And yeah, even when we need to pivot a little bit, like Alex, you're like, all right, so like our core content that we've been doing for a few years, like people are not interested in that anymore. Like our whole catalog of thousands of videos, kind of irrelevant now. So it's like we got to pivot and start talking about some other stuff. And it's fairly straightforward because we already have a platform in place.
Yeah, and we've got a camera and a microphone, and we're fairly comfortable using it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, I mean, and you would know when you first started creating video. It's not. No one is comfortable talking into a camera. I don't think. Maybe some people naturally it comes to them and they go on to be Hollywood stars. But yeah, most people it's not a natural thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, yeah, Peter Creative. It's real. It's live.
Yeah. Although we are wrapping up, so Alex, this is great. Where should people find you?
Find me at WP Eagle and at Estepona.life. You can find both of those on YouTube. Go and have a look. And would love to see. I mean, I was going to ask you, how is your YouTube? My subscribers are in decline. That may be for many reasons that we've already spoke about, and also the fact that I don't publish as much content. But yeah, that's a nice depressing metric to see. When your subscriber numbers is like minus or negative 12.
Mine are going down, but if you remember, I was running ads for about 6 months or so. And
you think yours is cleansing itself?
Yep, it's a self-cleansing process. And It's dropping. And the funny thing is, like, if something good happens, then I actually get some subscribers. So it's like less negative. But so it's like instead of losing 30
I mean,
subscribers.
Carl is the same. I don't know. It's just maybe the space. Like Carl just put a video up the other day, and he's like, I don't know why I bother, because he published a video and then just loses some subscribers.
It just pisses people
yeah,
off.
it's not great. It's not nice.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, I'm doing these live streams more often, regular schedule. I'm trying to get guests like you, and I let people know, and there's more people showing up. And then when I'm looking through, my views are going up. It's like the old days, man. Like when we first started our channels and like no one fucking showed up. I'm showing up more often. People are coming now, even though it's not as many as it used to be. Like people are coming, and I'm trying to do like a little bit different formats, a little bit different topics. So it's a rebuilding time frame. And I think we will, like, if I keep, well, as long as I stay interested and I keep talking to people, like the live streams, they get favored in the algorithm. So like, you know that from the old days, right? So I'm trying to, you know, you and I are just catching up, but I titled it How to Launch a New Travel Website. So it's like, that's a keyword, right? So
yeah,
it's going okay.
Yeah, I keep doing it. I think that's always been the message, right?
Yeah. And the other part is like, I don't have sponsors for my YouTube videos typically, although I want some, and I don't have advertising running. So I could kind of do whatever content I want, and I don't have to cater to any specific like advertiser or anything like that. So the videos are just what I want, and I could produce them or not produce them. So I took a little break over the summer, like traveling and stuff. So overall, I am losing subscribers, but things seem to be picking up a little bit.
You can't just look at that metric in isolation, can you?
Right. Because it's total BS. Like I got can you see the plaque over there, right? And it was just, that
was my one dream. I thought that my life would be complete if I got that plaque. I'm still, it's moving away from me now, but.
Well, if you want it, all you got to do is like run the ads. It's like,
and the thing is it made out of plastic?
Yeah, pretty much. It's, like there's sort of like a metal facade like over it, but you know, it's really shiny. So, I mean, it's somewhat substantial, but you could hear.
Yeah. Do you get to choose the name they put on it, or they just take your channel name?
You could choose the name. And you could send it to your team. You could actually order like several of these if you want.
Okay, so they just open up an order form for you when you get to the...
Yeah. So the first one's free, and then I think the others are... I mean, they're pretty reasonable price, so I could have like ordered a bunch. And
get one for all your friends and family. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like... Well, I don't want to diminish it, but I was just like, oh, I could just... Like, I felt like I was proving that these are a joke.
Yeah, well, unless you get like the diamond one that like PewDiePie and that kind of people get.
Yeah, but I mean, it does. I have a lot of videos, so if you do want one, you can do it the pure way, and then you'll feel better about it. But
just before we go, going back on the YouTube thing, I mean, how YouTube has changed, and the YouTubers now, you know, KSI and Logan Paul, these big YouTubers. They're just in it for the money again. And the way that they want to sell things to children, that blows my mind. Like, I don't know what you're drinking there, but I doubt it's Prime.
No. Just water. Put a little salt in there.
So, and they've just Logan Paul, KSI, and Mr. Beast have clubbed together to make a product that is slightly more healthy than Lunchables.
Man, you gave me an idea. No, I haven't. But we should do a product. We should do. We were talking about like we should do that male enhancement thing we were talking about. Remember, you were saying you have that problem. And
I overcame it.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I was talking to Ron. He was the one.
Maybe he.
No. So they're selling.
But I would definitely sell products, but I don't think I would get to the point where, especially if I knew that I had a large audience that were children, I wouldn't. And I knew that if I launched a drink or a food product, they would immediately pester their parents to go and buy it.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't, put out a product that's really unhealthy and full of crap. But hey,
Well,
I don't know.
and that's why I drink Monster energy drinks. It's not sponsored.
Are you really drinking that?
I had one earlier. I wanted to be pumped up, full of energy. It's one of the sugar-free ones. So one of my buddies.
What else? What is in that?
I think it's just mostly that red artificial and that's
Caffeine.
yeah. It's not a ton of caffeine. It's only 140 milligrams, and there's some vitamins. Only 10 calories. I'm sure. And
You'd rather have that than a nice cup of coffee.
Well, I had coffee earlier, but
That's just to
yeah.
wash down the coffee. Okay.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what's not in here. Fruit juice. It does say there's no fruit juice in here.
That's good because that's full of sugar, fruit
Yeah.
juice.
Yeah, yeah. But YouTube is weird. I like it a lot though. Like I really enjoy doing the videos, just shooting the videos. Even if I don't end up publishing, I like shooting the content as well.
Yeah. No, I enjoy it, and I enjoy shooting. I enjoy editing. I enjoy all of it. I do. But I'm also nostalgic for the internet and YouTube and all of these places, Google, as to what they were and the potential that they showed and held, and the way that they've all kind of changed just to become a whatever. Everything becomes just corporate and about money and all the rest of it, which, let's not
Yeah.
lie, we all do need money, don't we? But
Yeah. And
has
it is
to
a balance for folks like you and I, where it's like we like producing the content, but it also takes time, and like we do need to earn like
Yeah. Let's
some.
not be under any illusion that anyone that's creating content is doing it purely for the love, because you say it does take time, and bills need to be paid, and children need to be fed, and all the rest of it. So it would all be lovely if we could all just create wonderful content and not worry about money. But yeah, you have to worry about money, and that is always then going to influence the kind of content you create and the kind of things you do, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's a tough balance because like we don't want to advertise like something crappy, and it does need to like match up with the audience so everybody like benefits, right? Like Linkify, like hopefully there's some people will check out Linkify if they need digital PR and all that stuff. But at the same time,
No, it's a
like,
good product. The people who use that, they'll get what it says on the tin. They'll get some good links.
yeah, exactly. So it's a little tough. It's tough out there. But yeah, we're, I think I
Just
scheduled a
one
certain
last
amount
thing.
of
Have you
time.
spoke to
Yeah.
Matt recently? Was he hit hard by Google?
Matt Giovanisi for Swim University.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in a few weeks. I know he was hit pretty hard, but he had a pretty healthy email list, big YouTube presence, so he was able to like optimize other areas.
Yeah.
And but I haven't talked to him in a little while, but he was definitely in a spot where it's like it's so seasonal because it's a swimming pool website. So by this time of year, like things have wound down and he has to push through and make it through till
Through the cold months, yeah.
next spring. So, I mean,
But I mean, he'd be a great guest to get on, because he was one person that I always admired and respected, because his level, the quality level of his content was so high and so authentic and so useful. I mean, I don't own a swimming pool, but if I did, I would definitely be using his content as a resource and as a Bible in terms of what to do for swimming pools. And it's the kind of content that I think would be, the kind of content that you think Google would like, because it was real, it was authentic. Matt's been working with swimming pools since he was like 15 or something, so he's got the experience. He has the charisma. He's good at writing. He was good at making videos. It ticked all the boxes for me. So to be hit by Google just shows how wrong they've got it.
right. Well, and yeah, well said. He also started doing like physical products, and he had products. So he was doing e-commerce stuff as well,
Yeah.
and he still got hit. I think there was like some small recovery here and there, but not like a full recovery. And, you know, he also got hit with sort of the cyclical situation with swimming pools. So there weren't as many like new pools built, and fewer people were moving to new homes because of higher interest rates. So a lot of his customers are like new pool owners. So people aren't moving to new pools or new homes
Okay.
with pools. So it's like he got hit like sort of in two different ways.
Two
So,
different directions. Yeah. I guess, yeah, once you've had a pool for a while, you kind of know what you're doing mostly.
yeah, and he had again he had digital products, the physical product, YouTube videos, like still a very big presence, but yeah, not in the same way as he was. So he hasn't been
Interesting.
on in a while. I do need to chat and
Yeah,
see
get
what's
him.
going on.
Colin's just asking Alex, what is the long game? Build and hold or build and sell? I'm going to say build and hold for a while, but I can't. I don't know how. I can't see my future in the next few years where I'll be. I don't know, for example, if I'll even be in Spain in the next couple of years for various reasons. So I'd have to say probably build and sell if I get the right offer.
Mm.
I think that's ultimately what. That's probably, unless you're in a business that you know you're very passionate about and you know that you can sustain it for a long period of time. If you get a good offer, probably take the money 9 times out of 10 in most business situations. And then that then gives you the leverage and the freedom to explore other projects. And also I'm always attracted by shiny objects and new projects and things. So if I get a good offer to exit, then I'll probably take it. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on building businesses and selling or keeping?
Yeah, definitely sell. I would say if you can build something and it's kind of on the way up and you can sell it when other people will think you're a little crazy for selling it, it's probably the perfect time to sell it because I've waited too long. I've seen basically everyone around me wait too long. It's just the people that have done it a few times or they sell early. Like there's a couple people that like they built like newsletters or communities and sold them like when they were on a great growth curve to someone else, and it seemed to be a great move. And I'm like, why do they keep moving around? But they like building new things and they like
Yeah,
get
and
a
then they're
great
bored. They want to
multiple.
move on to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say even a thing where you're like, I think I could do this forever, like you could still like just keep in mind like, hey, if you get a good offer, go ahead and sell it. Now the thing is like a lot of the stuff that I was referencing, it was volatile in that the traffic source was Google, so it was always volatile. And if you're in something that's less volatile, maybe it's not as attractive to sell it that way. But I mean, I've seen again other people do it in other times, and if you're an entrepreneur and you just like building stuff, then yeah, sell it, build another thing, like keep developing new skills. So, oh, and Gaz
For
is
sure.
on. I haven't seen Gaz on in a little while. What's going on, buddy? Let's see here. Okay. Well,
Hey,
this
we
is
were
pretty
talking about
good.
you the other day, Gaz, on my live stream. You weren't on that one, but yeah, you were mentioned. In fact, I pulled up an old clip of you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right. Well, Alex, this has been fun. Anything else on your mind?
No, I think that's it. Talking about old clips, though, I brought up the old clip of like when I used to do my Christmas parties, and there was like so many people joining from
Oh,
our
yeah.
space, and that was
That's right.
nostalgic. What thinking like, what happened to Amelia? What happened to Hasta la Vista Boss? What happened to all these um, people?
Oh, yeah. 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 You were doing those for a little while. And, I was also thinking, speaking of like the old days, I was like looking back at some of the videos we used to do. They would get like thousands or tens of thousands of views. Now I'm like getting hundreds of views for any video. It is
Yeah,
depressing, like looking, because I forgot we used to get a lot of views back in the day. But the thing is, like, they were awesome success stories. And it's just like, whatever, 5 or 6 years ago, someone would be like, I launched a new site. I'm making 10K a month. Like, it was
yeah. Get them
the,
on. Let's talk.
it's
Yeah,
crazy. And I was like, I should do like a cut of like just people saying like how much they earned in a month and be like,
that
this
would
is
do well. Like
gone
a little kind of montage of
of the
this is
old
the
days.
golden age, the golden time of
Yeah.
niche websites and affiliate marketing. Check out this. Yeah,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
your
But it
editor
would
on it.
be
It'd be good.
depressing. It would be depressing. So,
Kind of, yeah, it'd be depressing. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a weird
That's the kind
note.
of the double sword of nostalgia, isn't it? It makes you feel good, but then also depressed at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, but that could be a that could be a good one to actually I got a video, maybe a live stream. Maybe if I do a cut like that, it could be like do you remember that show Mystery Science Theater 3000?
I don't even know if we had that in the UK. What was
No,
that?
maybe not. Actually, change it. We'll do like a Beavis and Butthead style. So you and I will be watching, and then we'll just make bad jokes about, I'll basically
Yeah,
cut
yeah,
together a bunch of clips, and then we just make fun of it, and people watch us make fun of it.
yeah. There's a lot of YouTube content that's really popular. Of just it's a video of someone watching a video and how they react to that video. So we can
Okay.
maybe do like this reaction, like watch back some old videos and react, because that
Okay.
seems to be a lot of content nowadays. Just a video of people watching videos.
Well, in the way these live streams work, just more and more people stack on because people get the notification, and we could do like a 4 hour long. We could sit around and talk.
Just watching old videos.
Yep. Watch old videos. Drink Monster energy drinks. It's not sponsored. I just like them.
Talk
I just
about
like
when Google used to be good, when yeah,
in the old days.
when you could post up an Amazon link and get 10% commission on stuff. And
Those were the days. Those were the days, man. All right, I'll
good,
let
on
you
that
go.
note,
I know it's
let's all
late
go and
there.
cry.
So thanks everybody for hopping on. Please do, if you're able to hit the like and like this video so other people could find it. Please sign up for the email list so I can notify you when other live streams are coming up. And Alex, we'll have you back on in, I don't know, like a month or whenever I can convince you to come on back.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll pull you onto my stream at some point. We'll do something on my channel.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would love to. So thanks a lot, man. We'll link up so people can get to it. You're at Estepona.life and WP Eagle. It's linked in the title. So we'll talk to you soon, man.
Check it out. Thanks for having me, Doug. See you later.